Alright guys, let's talk about the new Gearbox GX2, a paddle designed to tackle the new PB Core regulations. Hey guys, just letting you know that if you like this review, don't forget to use our discount code BrionesPB for some savings on checkout. Let's geek into it. Now, if you don't know, the new PB Core standards means that paddles have to stay below 0.44 COR for the entire lifespan. No more paddles getting hotter over time. A lot of brands are scrambling to adjust, but Gearbox, they've been ahead of the game with the SST Core 2.0. Their patented carbon fiber ribbed core that's 4 times stronger than traditional honeycomb. Pretty much what Gearbox has been known for, and what we've seen in their other paddles in my other reviews. So what does that actually mean for you? More durability, more consistency, and better vibration control, especially for that elbow. You're getting a solid, predictable hitting surface that won't soften up or lose power over time. Another big thing, the GX2 sweet spot is actually huge. The increased fiber density and strengthened center ribs give you cleaner, more reliable shots with way less twisting on off-center hits. And thanks to the refined rib structure, you get that signature quiet Gearbox feel that it's basically known for. Pretty quiet around the neighborhood, so you're not gonna have a lot of problems with complaints. This paddle also has a smooth, predictable break-in period. You won't get that crazy pop at first that wears out later. What you feel on day one is what you'll feel after the life of the paddle. And after playing with it for weeks, it is true. I've had these paddles a couple of months now before they even had their logos put onto it. And after playing with them a ton, they still play the same way as the first day. Gearbox is launching 3 shapes: the Elongated, the Integra XL, and their standard shape, which is my favorite. I got to test out an unfinished black version because they wanted me to get the game time hours in before the final cosmetics were put on. So I did have a lot of people asking me, hey, what kind of paddle is that? And you know, all my friends, I just told them, it's top secret.
That's classified.
It's what?
It's classified. I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
So for the elongated paddle, the first thing I had to do was customize it to the specs I am already used to playing. So with all my other elongated paddles, I added some tape to the bottom of the paddle for a quicker hand speed and strips on the side of the paddle for opening of the sweet spot just a little bit more. After that, bingo. It was really fun and it almost felt a little too powerful. What is crazy is that I can barely hear the ball when it makes contact, and it just rockets off with so much speed. I really had to control my shots because sometimes it would just keep going. So definitely make sure you follow through completely on your swing so that you can get a good top spin on the ball. You don't want it going out. This paddle, just like the earlier Gearbox models, is very poppy. Even without the weights, Gearbox kept its power for sure, even with the thicker core. Okay, so for the Integra XL, it was a bit heavier than the Elongated, which is pretty normal, and it was easier to hit with out of the box. The Elongated was the paddle that I had to customize a bit more to get a better feel, but with the XL, you could feel the difference because the sweet spot was huge and the extra weight made all the difference in forgiveness, drops, and putting the ball away. Even with it being a PB Core paddle, it actually compares really well to the Yolas from 2024. Gearbox keeps its power, even more so than the Yolas that just dropped last month. Side note, if you like using the entire paddle to hit the ball, even using the handle for some of your shots because you're not that accurate, this paddle is for you. Maybe that's why I loved it so much. I'm not as consistent, so I guess it helps out on my off days. Okay, now for my absolute favorite model, the GX2 Widebody. It's actually shaped a lot like the Anna Lee Paddle Tech from 2024, but the sweet spot is so much bigger. I probably would prefer this over the carbon paddle any day. It's PB Core approved and it's got the perfect amount of power and pop. This paddle is a great reset and dinking machine, just like most of them are already with this shape. The only difference between this and the Elongated paddle is that it isn't as powerful. Almost identical, but sweet spot is way bigger and it's much more forgiving. Elongated's paddle, you hit one wrong side and the twist weight gives it a big torque and you hit a ball. Also, it won't delaminate. This paddle is built to last, comply, and perform. So if you're looking for something that meets the new standards without losing power, the GX2 should definitely be on your radar, especially if you are a competitor in the PPA that will be required to use a PB Core approved paddle. And if you're not, just a regular rec player, try it out. I still highly recommend it. The grit on all of these paddles could have been a little bit better, but overall it's a solid choice for anyone. The one thing I love about PB Core is that almost anybody can use these paddles because they have so much more control and equal pop across the surface. The forgiveness with PB Core just seems like we finally reached a level playing field from all the top companies. It almost feels like now you just have to choose the brand you like the most, because most of these paddles for 2025 all play very similar. Some just have a little bit more power than the others. Some have a little bit more control than power. So for my recommendation, you will always get more forgiveness and an easier time to adapt to standard shapes. So almost zero customization without weights. If you like the more competitive style and are fancy with your shot style, go with the Elongated. Although you will need to customize with weight, which most pro players do anyways. If you like the XL paddle shapes, then go with that one. I almost didn't have many mistakes with it at all because it's almost like a wide body, but it's a long, wide body. It's huge. Whatever the size you were used to, I think all these paddles are going to complement your game. The Gearbox paddles are definitely going to last a long time unless you slam it against the concrete or fence whenever you get too emotional. So relax. So I highly recommend these paddles. They're perfect for any type of game style you like to play. And they will make your shots look professional when you're trying to look cool for your higher level friends. Thanks for listening, guys. See you on the courts.